Hey gang, today is the 8th of January 2020, hard to believe. Came back earlier from Orange, where I went to Torpedo Comics, picked up my weekly, and discovered that I apparently missed a couple of issues of books that I hadn't had on my pull list. So, oh god. A couple of these books are actually a month old, but I want to catch up because, anyways. So here we go. These are in actually, for once, they're in publisher order. So we'll go with that. We got Butcher of Paris 1 and 2. This came out last month. I've been hearing a lot about this. This is actually based on a true incident that occurred in Paris during World War II, where there was a serial killer taking advantage of the situation, and pretty much going under the radar of the officials, including the Nazi soldiers who were there. Then we go into D.C. We got Gotham City Monsters, number 5 of a 6-issue miniseries. Monsters Against Monsters, which is kind of cool. We have, especially we have the current day DC Frankenstein against the historic Frankenstein, and it looks like pretty much the universal monsters against some counterparts. Oh, excuse me. We have 2 books from DC's Black Label Joe Hill House Comics imprint. Say that 2 times fast. We got issue number 3 of Dollhouse Family, which is really good. This is by M.R. Carey, and about a young girl whose dollhouse turns out to be haunted. And we got the first issue of Daphne Byrne, which I think is historical. I think it's like Victorian or something, but I'm not really sure. It looks like the cover. Remember reading about this is from Laura Marks. And the cool thing about that is there's the Revolutionary War naval tale, Sea Dogs, written by Joe Hill, which is 1 chapter in each one of the books. So you have to pick up all the books. Although I'm going to assume once he ties it up, it's going to be its own novel. Oh, excuse me. Then we got House of Whispers number 17, and I do recommend all of the Sandman Universe books. They're quite good. Second issue of Dying is Easy, a Shit Talk Holmes mystery, also written by Joe Hill. That's a lot of fun. These 2 of my favorite books from Image. We got Gideon Falls number 20 from Jeff Lemire. Princess wanted to say hi. And Oblivion Song by Robert Kirkman. Both really good. Both fantasies, one more science fictional. Gideon Falls more supernatural, and Oblivion Song is like a science fiction tale. But I recommend both. And I think it was. Gideon Falls won the Eisner for Best New Series, and certainly deserves it. We got a one-shot, The End. This is part of a series of books that Marvel's putting out with various characters telling their final tale, learning the final fate of these characters. And this is an older Miles Morales in a sort of a dystopian future, and he's still a good guy. We got first issue of Marvel's X, which is a prequel to the older series Planet X. If you remember that one, we got Immortal Hulk number 29. We got issue number 5 of New Mutants, and remember, this is by Hickman. Remember, this has nothing to do, except for maybe some of the characters, with the New Mutants film, which is finally going to get a release in about a month or so, and I'm looking forward to it. The new trailer looks really good. The original trailer leaned more on the horror aspect, and this time around, I guess it looks like they finished the special effects, and you see them using their superpowers, or rather, the mutant powers. And remember, this was one of these the Fox characters when they had that, but if you look at the trailer, you'll see they're using the Marvel beginning logo. So whether or not this is going to tie in, or whether maybe they filmed something at the end to tie this in to the current MCU, will be interesting. Okay, we got issue number 22 of Venom Island by Donny Cates. Eddie has left his son in the care of others, and has gone to the island where he tried to kill Peter Parker a few years ago when Venom was more in control, and he's waiting for the return of Carnage and Null, the god of the symbiotes, who's heading for Earth, and I guess he's going to try to defeat him there. We got Strike Force number 5, and if you're a fan of a Spider-Woman and a Blade like I am, you'll be getting into that. And I'm looking forward to the new Spider-Woman series that's coming out, and I like the new costume. I like the new design of the costume. Looks pretty cool. We got Savage Avengers number 9. And okay, again, last month I didn't have it on my pull list, so I have both issue number 2 and 3 of Mobius, the Living Vampire. Mobius was as usual, tries to cure himself of his disease and only makes things worse. For Marvel, the final one is Ruins of Ravencroft. And I think there's going to be 4 or 5 books that look at the history of the Ravencroft, which is Marvel's Arkham Asylum, and it's being rebuilt. And like the 4 or 5 issues will look at the history of Ravencroft, how it was built and how it's been used over the years, and then eventually. There's going to be a mini-series which looks at the current Ravencroft, and that's going to feature John Jameson, Minwolf, who's now head of security, and we saw what happened with him during the absolute carnage where Ravencroft was burnt to the ground. And this is the 4th issue of The Plot. Really good book about a family dealing with a house that is haunted by supernatural creatures, and as usual in those things, not everyone might make it out by themselves. That's it for me. Fairly big week. But nothing else going on this week. I do recommend Zomboat, both Zomboat and Aliens, over on Hulu. Two good series. The two-part Doctor Who show with the spoilers. The Return of the Master was good. And overall, I liked the Golden Globes Awards, and it was one of these years where I actually saw some of the entries, which was kind of cool. Anyways, that's it for me. Hope to be here next week. You never know. Peace out and take care.